finally, man, I was just like, hey, we finna create our own show.
Was that before you went to South by or after? When you thought about the whole show?
Man, I thought about a whole show before I even went to South by. I had these ideas, and then sometimes it take me a while to really speak on them or act on them until I put it together in my head and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So music is an outlet, always has been an outlet in Flint, and I feel like people rely on it even more now because they look at it as possibly, a way to whether it's to generate income or it's an outlet to just release some emotion about the situations or whatever the case is. So music is therapeutic. It's therapeutic for people in Flint. And I think it's important for me to be there to give back and share that knowledge that I've gained over, the years or whatever through my experiences. Come back and, give them the game. Like, this is what you need to be doing. These are the risks that I took. So this is, what you need to be doing, the proper steps. Man, I had an interest in music, I feel like very just early on. Like, I was just into everything creative. I thought I wanted to design shoes. And that was like very early on, like third grade, I remember doing a project on that. But other than that, I never seen myself doing anything else besides music. Maybe it was like a Radio Shack keyboard or something like that, and just kept building from there. Man, see, I'm just a proactive person, you know what I'm saying? So even, before the albums, for me, I was tired of like, chasing placements or waiting on even, locally to where it's like, man, I'm waiting on this artist to finish a song on my beat or whatever, and that's the only time, I get some recognition and I'm on their watch, so I start creating, the albums. And it's like I had control over the situation, and I can control when it's coming out, who own it, how it's promoted, all of that. And then I had somebody who was kinda, sorta managing me at the time, and he stayed like in upstate New York, and he just randomly hit me one day, like, hey, Currency on one of your beats. I'm like, yeah, right. And then I end up getting like a tweet, I think it was, maybe like within a couple hours of that, saying like, it was like confirmation. And then like they put the song out like the next day. So it was like a 24-hour process. And that's how it literally like happened. And that song in particular, like, it just sparked something different in me, like, oh, shit, like this can really go to another level. It's bigger than, the friends around me, or, it's other people on a higher level that really appreciate, what I'm doing. So then I started to look at my music differently too then. I mean, when we created Foreign Allegiance, that was really like two giants like came together, and it was like, man, now we can create anything. It was just a perfect, it was just a perfect marriage of right elements and everything. During Foreign Allegiance time, that's when we got like the placement with Crit. And so after that, man, it was just like a whole nother world opened up, again, to where it was like we was, we was just rolling. And then to move to LA, and that was a whole nother experience, moving to LA, a lot of relationships built there. What we used to do was we would make beats and drink beers. And so I just kept saying like beats and beers. I'm like, man, the name, I'm always trying to create more and more and more. So I'm like, this name sounds like more than just like an album or, a one-off project. This sounds like a brand. So from that point forward, like, I would wear Beats and Beer shirts pretty much like every day, everywhere. Not even, always had in my mind about Beats and Beers Festival. It sounded like a festival to me. Finally, man, I was just like, hey, we finna create our own show. I had the idea before we even went to South by, the first time. 2015, I was living, I was living in LA. I was like, man, we finna do our own show. I'm like, I don't even know really the first step about, doing it really there. We don't live there. We don't even live in Texas, per se. But what I do know is that we built a ton of relationships from producing. I do know a bunch of people that migrate there. I do know a bunch of artists already. And I do know that some of these people owe us favors anyway, because, we might did some work for them, made some beats for free, or whatever the case is, all types of favors. So it was an easy transition because I already had relationships, which is one of the key things to it all. I already had relationships, so it wasn't like, oh, there's some new dude trying to throw like a new show and we don't really trust them, like type of thing. Nah, people was really with it. Man, people was pulling up like crazy. So that's how it happened. I mean, the production of the show wasn't the greatest because it was the first one. You know what I'm saying? So there was some areas to definitely tighten up on there, like not even knowing really what we was getting into fully. But we did that show, and that was the start of Beats and Beers, the events and show portion. It was just Beats and Beers Festival, a one-off, show that was happening during South by Southwest. So we did Beats and Beers Festival, 2015. We did it 2016 again. And so the first one, I think we might have did like 10,000 like RSVPs or whatever. The next year we might have did like 12. Then 2017, we just kind of really, went up, and it was like, like 15,000 or something. But over time, we're collecting all of these people, that we can consistently market to. These people are from all over, and so I'm thinking like, these shows only happen once a year, and these people are located, scattered, everywhere. I felt like we had built up enough to, okay, let's go to cities and do like smaller versions. What I like to do is curate these shows, right? That a lot of these artists wouldn't, and there's some great art. I always find like some great artists, like, I'm like, damn, I ain't really, think it was gonna be that dope, but no, that was really dope. But a lot of these artists, might not even ever make it on these stages with some of these people that we put them on the stage with. And that's just the reality of the industry. And that's not down anybody's, talent or situation. But a lot of these artists don't have that opportunity. So my idea was to create, that opportunity to where we create these unique shows and give these other like artists a platform, of course being selective with, who we let be on the show, but it just became, a thing of the artists just taking advantage of the platform and us being able to provide that. So it's kind of where it all, like, it's kind of crazy too that, looking back on it now, how people really view it as a platform, for real. Yeah, it's just, man, yeah, it's crazy really thinking about how it grew. And I feel like a lot of people would have kind of gave up on it, at this point, because of like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You deal with artists who, not experienced like with the industry or whatever, so they not the most, professional. A lot of times with artists, everybody feel like they feel like they number one no matter what. Like, so everybody wants special, attention, or, it's just a lot dealing with artists, in general. So a lot of people, can't handle, can't handle all of that. So to see what it has grown into today is definitely amazing to see. And it's still like, man, I'm still like going up, you know, taking it up plenty more notches. Hey, you never know who you're gonna be in a room with. So it's telling them like, hey, y'all better move around this room and talk to whoever you can talk to, because you never know who in the room or who do what or anything like that. So I feel like we teach them like in various areas, which is one of the reasons why, you know, like we in Houston now, but there's artists that's traveling from, you know what I'm saying, Seattle to come perform, you know what I'm saying, here or whatever, wherever else, you know what I'm saying, they coming from. Like wherever we go to, there's always people traveling from other places, you know what I'm saying, to come perform. And that's just because of the platform it is. They know, okay, I can come in there and I might meet some people that I wasn't even going, you know what I'm saying, probably not even meet ever, you know what I'm saying, on my own. But this is a for sure thing that I know for sure I'm gonna leave out of there and take something away. We invite out, you know what I'm saying, all the press and media, whatever, in the area. Like it's always a cool environment to where you can walk up and talk to anybody. It's not like somebody just being there with a million, you know what I'm saying, security guards around them or anything. Like we try to create those environments to where it's creative. People feel cool with networking. So that's one of the things that I'm really huge on. I always preach about is networking. I feel like that's one of the biggest tools that artists can use